Hi, this is Captain Paul with Fish Finder Guide Service. We're going to start off today with the drops along the intercoastal here. The tide's been super low in the Laguna Madre right now. We also have a lot of off-colored water on the windward shorelines. So we're going to kind of stay up on top of these shoulders and try to fish right off the drops of the intercoastal here. There's a lot of little cuts, and you might concentrate on some of those cuts that run through this little area right here. It's been pretty good for speckled trout kind of early. And if you get anywhere west of this line, you're going to get into some really dirty water, especially with the low tide. So if you're going to stay on the north side of the causeway, I suggest fishing the drops along the intercoastal. Really, the water can be clear on either side. If you come back up in here, there's quite a few little cuts off the intercoastal, especially around the power line. The map really doesn't show them very well, but you'll be able to find them if you look for the little green guts. Try to catch flounder in those. Everything we're kind of doing for the trout, we're still freelining the croakers on number 7. And if you're going to be fishing for the flounder, you can use shrimp, live or dead. I prefer live with some real maybe 1/4 ounce jig heads and just work them real slow off the bottoms of those cuts. But on the north side of the causeway with the super low tide, I really would caution anywhere in this zone or anywhere in this zone. You're probably going to get stuck right now with the way the tide is. If you move over into this area of the bolt hole up here, some of these channels are holding trout, some of the channels, and then some of the drops along here are holding redfish. You're going to have a GPS to find those drops due to the fact that the water is so dirty and off-colored. It's almost like a brown tide bloom, but what it is, it's really brown water coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. It's filtered in through the Packery. It's all the way through the flats. You'll see the heavy lines of the brown. I don't believe it's a brown tide. I just believe it's just an off-colored water, almost like a Mississippi River water that's made its way over here and gotten into our bay system. But these drops are pretty good for reds using cut shad and sardines. I've kind of weaned off the sardines this week and gone more to the shads. Seems like it's picking a little better oil slick. I'm freelining all the shad. I'm cutting them in half, freelining them on number 7 Cal hooks. You could do that. You could theoretically use corks with the cut bait. I have done it in the past and it will work. I just kind of like freelining them a little bit better. So you want to try these drops right in here, up through here. It's a real slow drop, so you might start up as shallow as your boat can go and then work your way out as the day progresses. That's kind of where the reds are. But like I say, take caution right now. The tide is extremely low. There's structures sticking out of the water. There's different stuff going on, people getting stuck. So just kind of be careful in the areas, especially the ones I circled down here and in through here, because it is definitely a time that you might have to use your towboat card. We're going to move to the south side of the JFK Causeway. This area right in here is still holding some pretty clear water. What you're going to want to do is, if your boat will drift shallow enough, this water is mostly around 1.5 to 2.5 foot deep. You're going to start up here as high as you can go and make drifts with this southeast wind across this flat. I like throwing gold spoons. Any kinds of paddle tails will work. You're going to end up looking for redfish through that area right there, just making long drifts. The drifts take like 45 minutes to an hour, and then just run all the way back around and start a new drift on a different line and see what you can pick up through there. There's been some redfish in there if you're a lure fisherman. This water out in here is also very dirty. All of this water through here is very dirty with that low tide. There are some reds, some trout, and some black drums. I've had a boat that I know of was drifting through here throwing corks and shrimp, and they actually did pretty good. They caught a few reds, a few trout, and a few drum through there. You could set up with croakers. You need to be very patient. There's a little drop right in here you could try to work. in this little area where I put the little bumps. You'd have to probably see that on a GPS as the water's super dirty, but you'll be able to find some trout on croakers through there, or make drifts with corks and shrimp if you can find live shrimp. Seems like it's been working out pretty well. Everything, all of this area and most all of this area all through here is super dirty. So if you're going to look for trout in that area, you're going to have to come back and get on this line right in here. That's about where your dirty to clear line is. And right through there, we've been fishing with croakers, number 7 kell hooks. It is a slow bite. Everything's slowed down with the low tide. But that's my report for this side of the JFK. We're going to move a little further south next. All right, now we're going to move south of Bird Island Basin, and we're going to be looking through all of these spoils here, the back sides of these spoils on either side of the intercoastal. So you'd be looking at the back sides of these spoils around the islands here, and then the back sides of all these spoils here. What you're going to be looking for is redfish, trout, and black drum. You're going to be using croakers free line for the trout, and you're going to be looking for the redfish on either cut skipjack, cut menhaden, cut shad, cut mullets even, and some cut sardines. Right through there, you're going to find some pretty quality reds right now. The black drum are all being caught on live shrimp on a number, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 ounce jig head through there. You could try those, maybe lighter 1/8 ounce jig heads, all on the back sides of all these spoils. You'll look for drums, trout, and redfish. They've been pretty decent right now. The fishing in this area has been okay. Also, this big area here, it's kind of a crazy circle. I'll make a little bit smaller circle for y'all. This area right in here has had a lot of speckled trout in it, so you might just try fishing from the east drop on out. This water in here is not that bad, but anything going west of that, out in here, you're going to start getting into that real dirty water again. All of this is real tough fishing right now with the way the color of the water is, the low tide. I just want y'all to all exercise a lot of caution. Right now, the tide's very low. There's a lot of different posts and stuff that you usually run right over that are sticking just below the surface or just right above the surface. So you want to use your GPS, make sure you're in good areas, mark structures you see for the future. You'll know where it's at, and be very careful out there. There's a lot of good fish right now. The bite is slow. We do have off-colored water and low tide. Y'all have good luck.